Welcome to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew. And today we got ourselves a daily message. Woo! These were supposed to be instrumentals. So we'll put that in the low background. But yeah, what's going on, people? How y'all doing? Feeling pretty good today. Hopefully you are too. New things. Seeing the damage of holding on to old things and moving towards a progressive state. That's the energy that I'm channeling today. So let's get into it. Not too much of a yap today. So let's actually just get to really pulling some cards. I'm seeing a lot of good cards as I'm shuffling. Like, good energy, good cards, good vibes. You know, it is what it is right now. And what that is it looks like we're walking away from some old emotions, planting new seeds from the seeds previous planted, meaning our fruit has bore seeds and fruit, and we are now replanting that fruit that was bore. Woo! I'm feeling good because now we know what kind of farmer we are. We know what kind of farmer we are. We can get over the heartbreak of trying to grow potatoes when we should be growing tomatoes. Like that's where we're at. We're realizing the areas of our fertility, and it's starting to mix and blend. And in the mix and blending, it's something that is allowing us to see some changes. But the changes that we're seeing, they're coming from a way of newness, not destruction like we typically see it. It's newness, fruitfulness. You are the one who's changed. So imagine yourself getting older. You're the grandpa, you're the grandma. So instead of seeing your kids running around, now you see some little motherfuckers who kind of look like you. Why that nigga look like me? But you didn't make them. You made the pre-evolution, and this is what came out in the second version. And so you get a new point of view. You still watching the kids run around. They still kind of look like you, but they weren't made from you. And guess what? They kind of do some weird things, but they do some things that you like too. You want to interact with it. You want to entertain it. You want to nurture and care for it. And you want to, see the best out of that little baby. That's you. That's you to yourself. Yeah. You to yourself. Woo. You to you. You too. Yours exclusive. Check them out at walmart.com. It's the first time I actually listened to that band called U2 with the song called With or Without You. I can't live with or without you. My hands are tired. What that makes me feel like is you gotta make a change that is holistic. And that's the energy I'm feeling today. There needs to be a drastic and wholeful change. You gotta be like the third thing. Instead of saying, I'm gonna grow apples, I'm gonna plant an orchard. No, I'm gonna grow squash. No, do something completely different. Nah, bro, I grow algae. What the fuck? Algae? Yeah. Just off the wall, because again, that's that uniqueness. That's that star energy that wanted to come out. That is the ability to collab with people who's just as weird as you, but weird in a way that you need it. Weird in the sense that help us understand the things that we want which is if you want to grow algae, go hook up with some friends, who like marine life and maybe who like, engineering of some sort, industrial engineering is what I wanted to say. So it's about being able to see yourself at a deeper light so you can connect with people at their deeper light. And what does that do? It helps you be true. That's the Three of Cups energy. Then you can be practical because you guys already have the similar likes, the similar interests, the similar hobbies. So guess what? Boom, bam. Now you're in the Three of Pentacles. You can actually collaborate upon those emotions that you find interesting. So, all right, let's get into this message. I'm looking for a happy medium. I got to figure out some days, but around 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes is what people want, or like 33. All right, what's the overall energy? Let's get one card and let's clarify it. Let's get a final message on it. All right, so I believe this card came out the other day. Oh, shoot. All right. So, this is the energy. Ten of Swords. All right. So, you've been protecting yourself for good reason. You've been protecting yourself for good reason for the simple fact that these changes here that we're seeing is a progression of resistance. It's a progression of resistance. I don't know if I just said that twice, but I think that's where this Two of Swords energy is coming from. It's like you're defending yourself from all angles from both sides. It's like whether you're cheering for me or whether you're rooting against me, both energies are being blocked out, and you're not even looking at what is or who is or why is. Your eyes are closed, you're bandaged. You are in there feeling the emotions, hearing the ocean, understanding through your sensory. You're gaining sensory details, which means you're feeling. So because you're in this like, oh, I'm in this cocoon of hyper feeling. I don't know why it's coming out like this, but this hyper feeling is kind of like what you're protecting or training or developing, something like this, something like this. Going back to here, I just got another one. These are all even numbers, so we'll talk about that too. Here we got the Four of Pentacles, and we just talked about collaboration as the three, but now we move into the four, and we see that there are certain things that we have, and it looks like what we have, it's in a place that's busy, it's growing, it's like a city in the background, and of the city is like you're trying to run the city. You're standing strong on all the pentacles. You're standing strong on all of the interactions and behaviors that are required to be in the state, the city. But then you're in a point where you're like really in your emotions, but you're not just emoting, you're feeling them. So again, it's like an aquarium. Think of your body as an aquarium. You just got the water in there flowing back and forth, and being filtered, or sometimes it's not, but in this aquarium with all these different sections, certain fish can only go to certain places. And that's the idea. You're getting the details based upon what you can sense within the sensation that you're feeling. And you're not in the feeling right now. You're just observing it. You are outside of it. So you can hear it. You can smell it. You might even taste the air on your breath kind of thing. But that's the idea of these thoughts. So maybe these opinions, these things are here and around you. And I think Mercury just went retrograde, I think is what somebody said. And that's coming off of this full moon. Is really helping me understand that, like, the emotions that are being presented, and possibly during your dreams, these things are being met with like a strong defense. So, what does that look like? That brings us over here to not the two, four times that much. So, not only are you able to just do, going back to this card, here's four, I can split up the four into two quarters on the vertical, two quarters on the vertical. Or I can say I got two. Two quarters on the horizontal, two quarters on the horizontal, right? Or I can say I got two. Diagonal to the left, diagonal to the right. Three different ways to provide the two, but they're still just two sides. 180 over here, 180 over there, left side versus right side. So the reason why I'm saying it is this is how we break space down. But when space gets broken down, we can divide even numbers in accordance to what we see, but the idea is something has to be the odd thing out. In this case, the 3 would be the person. In this case, the 3 would be the person. So in this case, the 3 or the odd person out would be the person. This 9-dimensional space is what we call this person in the middle. That's the center. So if you're looking at tic-tac-toe, you have a centerpiece. This person's in the center. This person's in the center. This person's in the center. Now, what we're looking at is because we went from just looking at left and right, two halves, now we have to do that same thing, but 4 times. So, not just saying left and right, you got to say left vertical, right vertical, top horizontal, bottom horizontal. Diagonal going northwest, diagonal going northeast. You have to be able to have more details, but because we're in a sensory state, what we're doing is we're learning how to take in more sensory. It's not the details yet, but it's sensations, triggers, stimuli. We know how to receive more of that's around us, and even though there's way less water available, way less emotion involved, you know how to temper yourself within the emotions of them all. So just with that little bit, you got enough to withstand 4 times as much against you, just with a little bit, because you know how to build up the reserves for just looking at it in a purely black or white scenario. When you know that things are black and white, you understand how it scales. So these things coming at you, they're not realizing that you are scaled in your approach. You're wise. Let me see what's at the bottom of this. Crazy, right? Crazy. So you're wise. And the idea of being wise, it comes from understanding the temperance between your actions. So here you're in the pure state, the feminine energy, but here you're in a masculine energy. So this is like you collecting data and moderating between people. Oh, you want the ball? Going back to the kid example. Oh, you fighting over the game? You fighting over the fucking phone? You don't want to share? Blah, blah, blah. Y'all been there before. Give me that. Nobody plays with it. That's that energy here. All of y'all just arguing, yelling, blah, 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 blah. I don't even want to deal with none of this. I'm just going to balance my own energy. You know what? I don't know. You choose. Little things like that. You take the ball from being in your court and say, oh, I'm going to just dribble. And then guess what? I occupied some time and some space. I brought some attention to myself. And now I'm just going to temper myself. Here you go. I'm going to pass it out. Now they're going to be worried if I get the ball again. Am I going to do something with it or not? They're going to, again. Now the tables have turned on the thoughts. So I say all of that just to tell us that coming down to this point of view here, it helps us see our strength. We have to know that putting boundaries up with solid routines. Again, I don't care if it's these two at the top or these two at the bottom. That's this side or that side. Doesn't matter. If I wanted to juggle and keep my protection of all four of these coasters so I can have all four of my cups, and guess what? Why do you want four cups? Well, because that helps me serve two people. Two people, not once, not twice, but four times. In other words, you got yourself some water and you got yourself some soda, and I have it, my wife has it, my son has it, my daughter has it. All four of us at the table, we're sitting here with our two cups. But me as the dad, I might have four cups. I might say everybody just get one. I have the ability to manage what I have. But guess what? It's because I take the time to receive the decisions that should be made based upon the sensations, not based upon my logic, not based upon the emotions, based upon a combination of this called frequency. Imagine this to be like Morse code. The frequency at which you touching the button, the frequency of the sound, the frequency of the pauses, the length, the time, the changes of all said things, that is the sensation. That's a whole new way of communicating. Imagine reading Braille. For me, nigga, it just feel bumpy as fuck. Oh, I could probably feel a little bit of some details, couple of dots versus six dots. It's like a string of dots. This is a single dot by itself. If I can probably do that, but what I'll be able to say, this combination of dots mean, happy birthday? Hell no. So the idea is because we put certain parameters on, but we can manage what is being received because we're wise. Now we're not looking at what we assume things to be anymore. What we're looking at is what we can sense. And we can sense the fact that people can read in ways that I can't, such as reading in Braille, such as reading in Morse code, such as reading probably Mandarin Chinese. Probably, yes, I can recognize it, but again, can I read it? No. I can't read the sign that says stop. Don't go there. I can't read that. But I can recognize how different it looks from Korean. So little things that helps me sense the differences between things that I feel around me will help me key in and have selective hearing upon the things that I've already sensed. But now in this card, I'm pushing it out because I have to be more forceful. I'm receiving here. There's only two sides to receive. It's just for me or not for me. But because I'm managing what comes into me, I can say, this looks like Chinese. I can't read this. This looks like Spanish. I can read this, but I'm a native English speaker. That is the idea. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe you're in new places. Maybe you got a new job with new personalities. Maybe it's a new home with new things to do. Maybe it's a new business. Maybe it's a new school for your kid. Maybe it's a new neighborhood. Maybe it's a new teacher. Whatever. You have the ability to sense even deeper into the details, but it just takes you stepping into a little bit of your emotions and remembering and feeling how confident and how structured and tempered that emotion is. You've been here and you've been here. 4 times 2 gives you 8. Okay, so again, you gotta start to understand you're just knowing how to manage this for 2 different times. Manage this for 2 different times. Earth, air, wind, fire 2 times. Earth, air, air, water, water, fire, fire. That's what these things are over here. Now these things become boys talking it, and now the other side become the girls talking it, and guess what? I got the 4 feminine energy principles. I got the 4 masculine energy principles. I can see that they're just masculine. I can see that it's just feminine. And I can manage each air, fire, earth, and water masculine. And I can manage each air, earth, fire, and water, feminine. I can manage all of those with practical routines. So even when I got negative thoughts on the masculine or feminine side, even if I got positive thoughts on the masculine or feminine side, I know that because I can maintain a happy relationship, a happy home, a happy negotiation, a happy balance, a happy temperance. That's temperance. Feet in the water, feet on the earth. That's the star energy. Pouring onto the water and pouring onto the earth. Because I know I can do those things in all of those ways, I can receive even in an area of hostility, even in my masculine energy. I can take action, even in my feminine energy. This person is receiving. They're blindfolded and they're tied. You're restricted. You can't move, so you have to take. And guess what? In order to receive what has been provided to you, again, what has been given, you look at what is given. And what is given is they can't do anything about the feet. So no matter what happens to this no matter what happens with the chaos towards you through the situation, the temperance will be there because you have the temperance within. You're the hermit. You're the wise one. And you know that no matter what can happen around you, you can always stay balanced. And that balance might be bringing death, but you just transform and rebirth as the phoenix. People don't know that. I don't think they understand that. They think that like causing death to you is causing death to, you, but it's actually causing death to themselves. It's a reflection because what you do is you reflect back in all ways because you know how to receive energies on the masculine and feminine, the aggressive and the passive aggressive, which means what is the opposite to passive? Active aggression. So there's active or the hitting side to aggression, and then there's aggression in and of itself, which is neutral. It can be good or bad. You can be aggressively eating that fucking piece of cake, bro. Damn. Pie, Thanksgiving and stuff. You can also be passive with that aggression too. So because these three things are happening, you're realizing that the neutral aspect is you. And you being neutral says, I got one of two at all times. You are choosing to be diagonal, choosing to be in the top, choosing to be at the bottom, choosing to be on the left, choosing to be on the right. You are choosing to be a combination. You are managing opposed to owning. So let's manage ourselves and let's be great. All right. See you next time. Peace.